What's up, guys? We're gonna beats. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make some dark, menacing trap beats. With that being said, let's get into the question of the day, which is, if you could work with one music artist, who would it be? Leave your answer in the comment section down below. Let's hop into the video. Now we're gonna start with our melody, and here's our first little sounds. Okay, so BPM wise, just for something more modern, I would say 150 to 155 is like common now, but you can use anything. Usually I use like 127, 130. But we can just go in the middle. And sound selection is important. So you want to pick, so if you want a dark beat, you want to pick a sound that gives that mood. So that's why I picked this. Right now, if we do the guitar, it's the same notes, but it gives off a different vibe. It's not necessarily super dark. So that's just a quick example of like how sound selection impacts everything. So let's go in here, and I'm gonna make this real simple. So we're gonna maybe go down right here. So all we need to do, okay, just to make it real simple, is just make a minor chord. So minor chords and suspended chords. So this is what they look like too. So we could do a suspended second, which looks like this. And if we do the minor, it looks like this. That's it. That's all you need. And everything else, if you want to make a melody up top, you just copy these up and you make some notes, pull them over, like so. Matter of fact, let's just use this just to prove to you that this works. I'm gonna take this, offset it, so we have bounce. And let's maybe do something like this. Right, copy it over. Matter of fact, do something like this. Boom, done. And you can make melodies like this all day. That took me, what? That took me less than 30 seconds, right? And you can just start adding drums right now, add some halftime, and you're done. And the reason I left a space here is because you don't want it to be too repetitive, because this is already repetitive. So leaving some space is good. And we're gonna copy it over and pull it down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's listen to the transition. I want to pull this up. And I kind of like this. Now, of course, these aren't playing. Because the sound I have is not, I guess it's not tuned, or not tuned, but it's not, the samples don't go this high. So that's fine. It doesn't matter. If I find that I want to use them, I'll pull it back down, but I like it pretty high. Okay, but we'll leave it in there if we need it, but let's go ahead and move on to our next sound. Now we're moving on to our second sound. So the key to like this dark stuff, and most melodies really, you want to keep each melody simple, and you want it all to come together as one big complex melody, right? You don't want to do so much in one. All right, so this is the sound we have, kind of like a little bell here. So I think what we can do is use this G, right? We can kind of use this, and let's use this note. Matter of fact, let's do, just keep it real simple and basic. Quantize it, pull it over, make sure this goes low enough. And if we go down 5, it should match this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. I like it. It gets the job done. I know a lot of people, when they watch videos, they want to see like all this crazy stuff, you know, all these crazy melodies. But the truth is, a lot of times they just look like this, right? So that's what I'm showing you. So let's go ahead and move on to our next sound. The next sound we have is a flute. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into this. The same thing. Keep it simple and let everything build on one another. You don't need to go crazy with every single sound. So we could just kind of use the same notes we've been using. And just for balance in the frequencies, I'm gonna try to build this in the middle, so like we have a nice range. Okay. I'm gonna turn this down. think that's good. Let's copy it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that sounds good. You see how everything is building on one another now. So lastly, let's add our guitar in here, and then we'll go ahead and add effects to kind of make this sound a lot more dark and mysterious. So lastly, to wrap up the melody, we're gonna go ahead and add a guitar. I like using guitars in these beats. They just sound really good. Of course, we'll add effects. So all of this is mixed together well, but right now we just want to focus on the notes. So if you just look, we'll be using a lot of these notes. Okay, just the same notes, but we're just gonna, pull them down, probably right here. So I'm gonna probably use this G because we've been using this a lot. Let me zoom in so we can see all these notes. And we can kind of do the same pattern. Let me see, let's zoom out a bit. Trying to make sure y'all can see the notes. Okay, I like that. Just kind of put them in the same spots. And if you're wondering how I'm just placing the notes, all I'm doing is just quickly looking over here, right? And if you just pull them over, you see everything overlaps. So that's how I'm just placing the notes. I'm just looking over here, okay? So we can just wrap this part up, okay? Okay, I like that for the guitar. So next we're gonna go ahead and do the post-processing for the melody, and then we'll get into making a beat. All right, so we're gonna quickly go over the effects. So I put all the ambient noises into one bus. So I put all 3 of these into one track, okay? I took out some of the lows because we're gonna be adding halftime. So I'm gonna just show you what I use here. I'm not gonna go over like panning and stuff like that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I think what people really like is like the actual effects. So first in order, we have halftime. Very simple. You can use gross beat for this, whatever, just a default halftime. And then I personally like to add a reverse. I just like, it just makes it sound a little bit more dark. So this is just a default reverse effect. You can use gross beat for this or whatever plugin you have. It just gives it a nice vibe to it. So for the next one, we have an EQ, and this is just to contain it, just make it sound a little bit more mysterious by taking out some of these high frequencies. And here, if you want to see the exact frequency, you can. Okay. Lastly, for bounce, so that it sounds good in the beat, you want to add a pump. So there's plenty of plugins you can do. I just use Shaperbox because it's just easy all in one. This is the one that I have. If you want to copy this exactly, you can. But really, you just want it to be low and then pump up around the half mark. And you can I'll just go through so you can see what it's looking like. 1 bar, okay, at 153 BPM, 1 bar, and then it should like pump up like this, okay, and then you can just see all the other settings and stuff. This is gonna add a little bounce, so I'll play it. Very subtle, but it makes a big difference in the end. And then the guitar, I just added Supermassive. This is a custom preset, but you can copy these settings if you really want to. There you go. and then I just boost the highs. Now with my guitars, I always boost the highs to bring out the noise in the guitar to make it sound a little bit more real. So this is what everything sounds like together. All right, so that is our melody. So let's go ahead and move into making the beat. Now it's time for the 808. So let's go ahead and do this. So all you really need to do is just go along the line of the root of your chords or the bass note of your chords. It's like this. And if you're new to producing, these are kind of the spots for your 808. And this just loops. Now you can go before it, like here, or after it, but you got to kind of know what you're doing. Or at least know some rhythms for that. But this is typically the patterns. I can't really make these larger, but this is the best I can do with the tools that I have. I'm gonna mute these so you can see them if you're new. Matter of fact, let's just change the color. And then you can see the spots are lining up, and then you could like do something in between. Just copy this down, and we're going to delete these, pull this down. All right, and then we just copy our kick, Alt K, and then I like to double my kicks. You don't have to do this, but I personally like to do that. So that is our low end. Let's go ahead and get into like our rim and our hi-hats and stuff like that. All right, so what I want to do real quick is do the hi-hats, and then we can build all the drums, just because usually with the hi-hats I like to do them inside the piano roll. And typically with dark beats nowadays, I don't like to do a lot of crazy hi-hats. I like to keep them more simple. I feel like it just has a lot more bounce to them. So we can kind of let it play along with the 808 a bit. All right, and I'm more of a perk person. I like the perks to shine, so that's why I always have a lot of perks instead of like just, you know, having like the fast hi-hats. Okay, but let me put this back. And then we're gonna chop that, and then for the chop, I'm gonna take the mid section. You can see that down there. I'm just pulling that down. Okay. And I think that's good for the hi-hats. And I guess we could just copy it twice, or we could just put it loops. All right, so we can stop it there just for, you know, so people can jump around the video. Let's go ahead and add our actual drums and perks and stuff and finish the beat. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add these little drums here. And I'm gonna mute a little some of these. I might just leave the guitar on. I don't like to ruin the end for myself, so I'm gonna just mute some of these. Could play around with some of these drums. I'm gonna pull these up a bit, and we could do, I think that's too loud. Okay, let's see what else. We could probably add some other stuff down here. And then let's go ahead and set the next bar. Make sure it's at 64, so it loops perfectly, and we can play the whole beat. And I guess we don't need to loop this. I wish it would just automatically set to 64, but all right, so let's play the whole thing. Okay, let's play it. Okay, and then for the master, it's very simple. I just use this for every video. This is what it looks like, just something real simple, and then just a soft clipper so it doesn't clip too much. And this threshold is at -12.4. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.